What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Today, we're going to be taking a look at my Wii Nefaris. Let's get into it. All right, guys, what we're going to do today is we're going to do some size comparisons, profile, weight, and then we'll jump into thoughts and impressions. Let's get into it by kicking it off with some size comparisons. Here it is against the Megaron Moyarl, very comparable to the Benchmade Bug Out. So you can see the Nefaris is actually a full-size knife from Wii, and I'm liking it. Here it is against the Civivi Bulltusk, very comparable in length to the Praxis and the Rat 1, in case you're more familiar with the two of those. I do consider the Bulltusk a full-size knife, and you do have similar blade length to the Bulltusk, I think. Oh, nope, you got just a little bit more on the blade and just a skosh more on the handle, so a little bit longer overall. Let me go ahead and move the Moyarl out of the way, and we'll bring in a USA comparison. Here it is against the Para 3 Lightweight, which I consider to be on the small side of medium. We'll bring this back out for profiles here in just a moment. We'll bring in the Spyderco Shaman. There you go. Shaman I consider full size as well, trying to line those pivots up. Very similar handle length, and you got just a tiny bit more blade length on the Nefaris over top of the Shaman. Sun's trying to come back out today. Let me grab the ruler real fast. We'll do the measurements here on camera just to see where we're at. Turn it right side up. Let's see here. I'm trying to line this up because the ruler doesn't exactly start at the 0 marker. So you're looking at a 3. If you're looking from here, it's 3.5 inches. If you're going from the back where it stops with the finger choil, you got 3.74 inches. You got 3.25 of blade cut, blade's edge. Overall length coming in at 8.2 inches. So very long, very big knife. Like it. Let's do profile, and then we'll do the weight. So how does it compare as far as thickness? I would say it is very comparable to the Shaman. Look past the chamfering on the edges there, and you can see they're equal in thickness. And then we'll do closed carry. And then how does it compare to its little rival, little sibling here? Very comparable. Very, very comparable. In the closed positions, you can see it is very, very comparable again. Actually coming in a little bit longer. Yeah, a little bit longer than the Shaman, and a little bit longer than the Bulltusk. So let me move these two out of the way, and we're going to check the weight on this one out. All right, let's see here. This should be very comparable to the Shaman, probably like 5 ounces. 4.6. Wow, that's under 5 ounces. I totally expected that to be at or above 5 ounces. That's pretty cool that they were able to keep that under 5 ounces. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Ergos. This thing has phenomenal ergos. It is so comfortable in hand, guys. It just nestles right in there. It does remind me a lot up here. I don't know about, overall, because I think the Nimble's a little bit more flat, but it reminds me of the Nimble X version 2, where they cut out a little bit more of the separation there. But that, as soon as I nestled it in hand, that was the first thing that I thought of was version 2, Nimble X version 2. Totally gave me that type of vibe, and I really like the ergos on it. Also, the other thing too, the Nimble X version 2 has more chamfering on the top, but it's very similar to what you see on the Nimble X here on the chamfering. So that's why I feel like those ergos are really kind of reminding me of that. You got a very generous forward finger choil, guys. Plenty of space up there. Hangs out the back a little bit too, so that's nice if you need to choke back, if you want to do any type of chopping. It is, for me, with my larger hands, 3 3/4 grip back here, but this is kind of where I live right here, like in this trigger pull position where I'm in the first knuckle, even though I can go further. This is like my lock-in position regardless. If I'm out on the tip trying to do precision cuts, if I'm trying to do power cuts, that's where I'm at. It's very comfortable in the pinch grip. Unfortunately, it has a very high tip, so you got an awful angle for doing any type of detailed work. But if you're trying to get into a package, or anything that isn't super awkward to get to, like if it's laying down, this is okay. But really, I have found like the choked up position is where it's at as far as, again, getting into packages, and then the pinch grip to get into the sides works as well, because you do have all of that belly. You got good lock bar access. This one here, it's a little hard to see because the lock interface is kind of it's kind of hiding down in there, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see that too well, but it looks like about 40% lockup, maybe 45. Really cool flipper tab. Check that jimping out. Very good jimping. They rounded it, so it's really grippy. It's very high above the pivot, so very satisfying to deploy. Very snappy. Trying to fail it. Can't fail it. But if you grab it and just flip it, very satisfying. Same with the reverse flick. Trying to fail it, but it hangs on to it till the last minute, and then it breaks and goes. So trying to fail it versus firing it, man. Woo! And just check out these sounds. And it's not fully broken in yet. I have had it for about a week, and I wanted to get the review out there on this one because it's been out for a little while, and I'm just getting around to it. I'm a small channel, so I can't grab up everything when it first drops. And this one was very well reviewed and received. So I was like, well, I do want to check it out because I think we as really putting out some interesting designs, and I think their quality is top notch. Like, to me, they're right there with whoever is OEing for best tech, and they're on the heels of Riot. Sometimes I think they put out a better product than Riot, but that could be a designer thing. It's very nice to disengage. They gave you just a little bit of relief, and then they chamfered out. And because it's so large with the chamfering, very easy to get in there. It's no discomfort. It's not pokey to me. It's very, very nice. I think I might have a little bit of oil, so I have to clean that up. On the lock bar, it's kind of grinding a little bit. When I go to disengage it, it's kind of like feels gritty. So I might have gotten a little bit of oil on the lock bar. I do try to avoid that. Let's see here. What else? Action's really good. It came with stamped ceramic bearings as usual, 20 CV as usual. I did swap to skiffs, and I felt a difference. I cleaned the stamp bearings up and put it back together just to check to see, and went with the skiffs, and you can feel a difference in the pivot when they're riding on the stamped versus the closed cage ball bearings. I don't think it has to do with the extra balls. I think help make it smooth because it has more touch points, so it's gliding on less, and it's having less pressure on the lower ball count, if that makes sense. It's divided a little bit more evenly, but it just makes everything feel smoother. I like that it's a shaker and not a guillotine. Very, very nice. Jimping on the back here is very nice. The black wash on here, I like it. I would have honestly, truthfully gone with the hand rubbed. I don't really like black washed and coated blades coming out of China because that pushes the HRC to the very lower end of the spectrum. But 20 CV is still going to hold a really good edge even at 59 HRC. I think with the hand rubbed and the satin blades, and even the blasted blades, you're probably going to still see that at 61, which is the better part of the range. But I'm not too worried about it. I'm not sweating it too much. Let's go ahead and kick it down to the table since we're talking about the blade. All right, we're in the garage. We have the Nefaris. Let's check and see what that factory edge is like. Oh yeah, so We always does a fantastic job with their edges. Very comfortable grip. We got the single ply board. Let's run it through a couple of passes. Wow, guys, it's a laser beam. I mean, holy crap. Really good edge. It moves through the material really nice, super slicey. Really slicey, guys. Really slicey. Did that do anything to the factory edge? Nope. Perfect. Doesn't need anything. Doesn't need a strop or anything. Let's kick it back up to the table. All right, back from the garage. As you can see, this was a laser beam, and truth be told, the 20 CV held up about as well as expected. I think there was a couple spots, if I remember. I think it was this one. That might have been the LMAX. I'm not sure. I did a couple of them back to back, guys. I'm not sure. So whatever I said in the garage. I do remember very slicey, good bite. It's dropped up nicely. I do remember I did strop it. So I am very happy about that. Very nice attention to detail too. Thumb hole's well done. It's not super aggressive, but it does grip enough for you to be able to grab onto it. And, you know, I just really like this one. I'm very, very impressed with WE, their build quality, the designs, and I think what they're offering is very fun. I really do like the copper topo pattern. I didn't think I was going to like it as much, but in person, it has some shine to it, so it looks really, really good, and it doesn't capture very well on camera when you look at that. It is coming in, I think, I had to pull it up here. I'm just going to check. Yeah, it starts with the two-tone blade and black washed handle at $298. This particular version was $306. And I think most of them are at that 306 point, it looks like. 306 price, it looks like. I don't see any other prices. It looks like for some reason the aluminum with the hand rubbed satin finish is $315. So I'm not sure why that one's a little bit more expensive than the copper. But anyway, they do have a Damasteel variant out there with Nebula carbon inlays for $680. Damasteel is not the same as Damascus. I get asked this a lot. Damasteel is a very high performance steel that is melded together, and then they do the Damascus treatment, which gives it the topo pattern. I don't know what else to call the pattern on there, but it gives it that Damascus finish. But Damasteel is like, and you'll have to Google it. I'm not going to even bother to look it up. But Damasteel is using like two high-end steels to create that effect. Alternative recommendations. Seriously, you can't get anything from Riyadh at this price point at all. They're not. Well, I take that back. It depends on what you're getting from them. Riyadh, you can get some stuff in the 280s. But if you're looking at stuff that is OE'd by Riyadh, they're usually like 330, 350, 380. They keep going up. It's very expensive. But if you get direct from Riyadh, it is actually very competitive, honestly, with WE, depending on what you're looking at. You know, just a plain tie, plain blade, 306 here might be 280 from Riyadh. Very comparable. I think Riyadh probably has a slight edge on quality if you want to buy one of the knives directly. Let me know what you think about the Nefaris down in the comments below. I really like this one. It is very cool. This one might stick around for a while too. I still have the high fin, which is probably my favorite WE, which is crazy because it's a companion 5th pocket carry knife, but I still have that one. I really like that one, and this one has that same impression on me. It was a limited run. I don't know, maybe they can bring it back. Maybe they can bring like the base one back and do more of them, or maybe they can do a second run and do some S90V. That would really make it limited. Shout out to everyone out there that likes, uses the links, comments, and is subscribed. Shout out to my members. I appreciate your support. I love you guys. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.